What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Edgar Berlanga. Edgar Berlanga views Jaime Munguia as a possible opponent. Okay. Edgar Berlanga says it just gotta make sense. He says we're from different promotions. He's with Al Heyman and PBC. I'm with Top Rank. And a lot of times that usually don't work, but I'm up for anything. In addition to Berlanga being up for anything, so too is Benavidez. The 25-year-old hard-hitting former champion from Phoenix, Arizona has tore through his recent competition, racking up 6 consecutive stoppages and victories. If promotional ties in a wedge between Benavidez and Berlanga, the New York native reveals that he would be more than willing to face off against another fighter of Mexican descent. He says, "You got Jaime Munguia on the radar too," Berlanga says. "I know he fights at 160, but he could probably move up and we can make or get a crazy fight going and make money. At the end of the day, it's about the bag. Besides the legacy, we got a family to feed." Let me counterpunch. That ain't gonna happen. You know, for shits and giggles, we can entertain it. What would happen? It would be a good fight for Berlanga, because Berlanga is a guy that doesn't like to fight boxers. You know, I think he just, matter of fact, I don't even think he likes to fight. I think Berlanga just likes to punch. There is a difference. You know, Berlanga's a puncher. He's not a fighter. He's not a boxer. He's not that dude you thought he was. He was a guy like Jeff Lacey. If you put someone right in front of him, he will knock your head off. He will. He will knock you out. But if you give him angles and you show him boxing ability, and you know how to take little walks around the park and reset, causing him to reset, he won't like you. He won't like the challenge. He won't like the adversity. He's just that type of guy. He's that basic. But fighting someone like Jaime Munguia that gives you constant pressure over and over and over again, that will be a good fight. And it's something about Puerto Rico and Mexico precedes me. It's just like, yo, these guys are like sworn enemies or whatever. You know, it's like south of the Rio Grande versus, you know, the Caribbean. You know what I mean? It's always some type of craziness going on. But Jaime Munguia will come at you. He will throw punches and bunches, and he will put the pressure on. He will give Edgar Berlanga exactly what he wants and what he thinks he wants. You know, it can only go two ways. Him end up knocking Jaime Munguia out, and that would probably be the worst example, or should I say the best example, for someone that should close their mouth when they fight. Jaime Munguia is notorious of holding his mouth open. Maybe he uses that to breathe, but it's a very bad habit. So that means nobody has came to him and told him, like, yo, you know, por favor, cerrado tu boca cuando tu pelea con alguien, right? Close your mouth when you're fighting anybody. So, like, it's like, it's like this. When you're dealing with fighters, ask Victor Ortiz. That ain't the way to go. And somebody that hits hard like Edgar Berlanga could knock your jaw loose and break your jaw in a bad way. Especially the worst type of jaw breakage is when your jaw's open, not when your jaw's closed. You know, Ken Norton broke Muhammad Ali's jaw, but it wasn't because he was talking or his mouth was, you know, like he seen a ghost like Jaime Munguia. You know, mouth is wide open, dude. Were you looking for flies? You trying to catch mosquitoes? What are you trying to do? Because, I mean, that's all you're going to get. Or you're trying to get your jaw broke. That's what it is. Cool. And someone like Edgar Berlanga coming from at 168, no, that's not going to be good for Jaime Munguia. But, like he said, you know, Jaime Munguia's with Golden Boy, DAZN. He's with Top Rank. I don't see that happening. You know, I just don't. David Benavidez, that would probably be a more challenging fight for Berlanga, because David is a fighter that is a lot faster, and it will probably eat him up before him getting any power shots. You know, that would probably be like Tyson Fury fighting Dillian White. You know what I mean? The speed will be just too much of a difference for Berlanga to do anything, unless he can time things well, like someone slow like Joe Joyce. But, you know, other than that, man, it's like, dude, you know, like, I don't see you fighting any of those guys unless you're willing to cross over, because Bob Arum ain't doing anything like that. You know, unless he puts himself in a mandatory position and then they go to a purse bid. You know, that could happen. You know, and we know Bob Arum with purse bids, he doesn't really purse bid high because he's cheap, because he's old school. So I don't see that really coming or going anywhere for Edgar Berlanga. It's, you know, to me, it sounds good to call out fighters' name, but why do people call out other fighters? Because they want recognition like those other fighters. You know, Jaime Munguia, you know, when he came on the scene and just flattened Saddam Ali like 4 years ago, everybody was like, who is this big fucking Aztec warrior, right? And ever since then, he's just been like that guy. You know, we wanted to see Jamal Charlo, two big bastards in the ring together, but, you know, that didn't happen, which, you know, is a shame. But that just shows you that why promotional companies kind of stay to their own. You know, I think of promotional companies like this these days. I think of them like churches. You know, you got Baptist, Methodist, Protestant, you know, Catholic. You got, like, you know, all types, right? And then they don't go to each other's church. They just kind of stay where they're at. Boxing is like that. Like, nah, we're good over here. We believe all in boxing, but, you know, you do your boxing, we're going to do ours over here, right? And I think that's what boxing is coming to, you know, in this day and age, because you don't have a lot of these crossover events because, like, it's quote-unquote bad for business. It has to make sense. Like, dude, what makes sense is you motherfuckers getting into the ring, putting the money together, splitting it up, you know what I mean? And revealing to each other how you guys break down your particular way of splitting profits and come together and find a way in our common ground to split profits of those two fighters with these two networks. That's how you do it. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Edgar Berlanga liking the idea of fighting David Benavidez or Jaime Munguia. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace!